For this pattern you have to cast on an odd number of stitches. I have cast on 21 for my swatch, and we're gonna start with a few rows that are usual for brioche, and then we're gonna have a few different rows in the end of the repeat. So let's start. I'm gonna do the edges like I always do. In color 1 we start with a knit 1, and then the repeat for the brioche, it's gonna be slip on yarn over, knit 1. For this first row, it's all that you have to do. Slip on yarn over, knit 1. Slip on yarn over means you go with the needle under the yarn and slip purlwise the stitch from the needle. And then knit 1 is as simple as it is. So we continue. Slip on yarn over, knit 1, and when we have 2 stitches left on the needle, we do again slip on yarn over, and then the last edge stitch in color 1 is always slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. After that, since it's brioche, we don't turn the work, we to color brioche, we slip it to the other end of the needle, and we pick up the second color yarn, put the tails together and start a row number 2. And in this row we're gonna slip purlwise the first edge stitch, put the yarn in front. It's gonna be in front the next time you're gonna do this, but now for the first time when we're just adding this color, we just put it in front and purl together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row. In brioche that's considered one stitch and it's called brioche purl. So the repeat for this row is brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over. The slip 1 yarn over is the same like in the previous row. So again, brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over. And we just repeat that again until we have 2 stitches left on the needle. Slip on yarn over, brioche purl, slip on yarn over, brioche purl, slip on yarn over, and we have 2 stitches left. I say 2 because I repeat the stitch and the yarn over in brioche is considered one stitch, so we have this one symmetry stitch that we are gonna brioche purl like we started. That's how we have to finish. And then the last edge stitch in color 2 in this row is gonna be slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. After that we can turn the work, change the color of the yarn, pick up first color yarn, and we start again with a knit stitch, and then the repeat for this row is gonna be slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. So just a little bit different from the previous row. Slip on yarn over, brioche purl. And again we repeat that until we have only 2 stitches left on the needle. We have left the symmetry and the edge. And here are the last 2 stitches, and the symmetry is slip on yarn over, and the edge as usual in color 1, slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. Now again slide the stitches to the other end, pick up the second color yarn, and we start with a slip 1 purlwise with yarn in the back. As it is, we just leave it like this. And the repeat for this row is gonna be brioche knit, slip one yarn over. Brioche knit means that you knit together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row. So that's brioche knit and slip one yarn over as usual. And again we repeat this until we have 2 stitches left on the needle. And the symmetry stitch is a brioche knit, and the last edge stitch, slip one purlwise with yarn in the back. So that's the first usual 4 rows of brioche. And now we'll continue with what I usually call the first brioche pattern row, row number 5, when we're gonna brioche knit the columns. So start with a knit 1 for the edge stitch, and slip one yarn over, brioche knit. So that's the repeat for this row. Slip one yarn over, brioche knit. Like the usual brioche patterns that I show you, but we don't have increases or decreases, we just brioche knit all the columns and slip one yarn over in between. So we repeat this until we have 2 stitches left on the needle, and we're gonna slip one yarn over the symmetry stitch and then slip purlwise with yarn in front the edge stitch. Move the stitches, slide the stitches to the other end, pick up the color 2 yarn, slip purlwise with yarn in front. It's in front already, we don't have to put it, and we repeat row number 2. And so row number 6 is the same as row number 2. Brioche purl, slip one yarn over, brioche purl, slip one yarn over. And the last 2 stitches as in row number 2, the symmetry stitch, brioche purl, and then slip one purlwise with yarn in front. And now, if it was unusual brioche pattern, we were gonna just repeat row number 3 and then 4, but for this pattern we're gonna change it a little bit. We're gonna start as usual with a knit stitch, but the repeat for this row is gonna be purl 1, brioche purl. So we are just gonna purl 1 and brioche purl. So purl together the stitch and the yarn over. So it's kind of like you purl in the entire row, but you're just, when you have a single stitch you purl it, when you have a stitch and the yarn over you brioche purl it. So this is all you habit. I'm doing the repeat for this brioche row. Just have to brioche purl and purl. So pay attention and don't do like me. You don't have to add any yarn overs here. We just purl and brioche purl. So in the end, purl 1 and then slip the edge stitch purlwise with yarn in front. Then slide the stitches to the other end, pick up the second color yarn, and we start by slipping purlwise the edge stitch. You just knit across, you don't have a repeat. And then in the end we just slip the edge stitch purlwise with yarn in the back. So that's the whole repeat, these 8 rows. And then we start from the first row and repeat 1 to 8.